Dog waited for his family for 4 years, but one day something unexpected happened. For 4 long years, a loyal dog waited, never giving up hope that his family would return. Through rain, snow, and endless days, he remained in the same spot, holding on to the past. But one day, something completely unexpected changed everything. The cracked asphalt glowed under the relentless summer sun, heat waves distorting the familiar landscape. For 4 years, Bailey had remained by the side of Highway 17, a silent symbol of unwavering loyalty. His once vibrant golden fur was now faded and matted, coated in the dust of countless passing cars. Yet his eyes still held a hopeful gleam, a spark that refused to fade. Bailey was waiting. He was never truly alone. The hum of the gas station, the squeal of tires, and the occasional sympathetic glance from passing motorists had all become part of his daily routine. Among them was Kevin, a young man with tired eyes but a kind heart, who worked at the station nearby. Kevin had noticed Bailey right away, a lonely golden figure against the harsh roadside. At first, he kept his distance, simply observing from afar. He began leaving a bowl of water and kibble near the edge of the woods, watching as Bailey cautiously approached, ate quickly, and then returned to his watchful post by the highway. Days turned into weeks, and the subtle ritual continued. Kevin, with his quiet patience, was slowly chipping away at the wall Bailey had built around his heart. One day, Kevin decided to try something different. He brought out a well-worn tennis ball, its yellow fuzz dulled with age. He crouched down a safe distance from Bailey, rolled the ball gently, and waited. The dog watched him, head cocked, a hint of curiosity flickering in his eyes. He didn't move. Kevin rolled the ball again, this time a little closer. Still no reaction. On the third roll, the ball landed inches from Bailey's paw. A hesitant sniff, a slow, deliberate nudge with his nose, and finally, he picked it up. A small, hesitant wag of the tail. A victory for Kevin. From then on, their interaction grew. Kevin would come over during his breaks, always careful not to overwhelm the dog. They played fetch, and the tennis ball was a constant bridge between them. He learned that Bailey loved ear scratches and whispered words of encouragement. He learned that Bailey's eyes held a profound sadness, a silent yearning. Then, one rainy afternoon, Mrs. Ross, a frail woman with eyes as old as the highway itself, came into the gas station. She had lived in the old farmhouse down the road, she told Kevin, for as long as she could remember. She had known the couple who once owned Bailey. Kevin's heart pounded as he listened. He learned of the young couple, their zest for life, their love for each other, and of course for Bailey. He heard about the tragic accident 4 years ago, a devastating collision that had ripped their lives away, leaving behind only a heartbroken dog waiting by the road. Mrs. Ross explained that the poor dog had been waiting for them to come back. He doesn't understand. The weight of Mrs. Ross's words settled heavily on Kevin. He looked at Bailey, still sitting patiently by the highway. Watching the cars speed by, his eyes searched for faces that would never appear. It hit Kevin like a punch to the gut. He understood now. He understood the silent vigil, the unwavering loyalty. Kevin went home that night, his mind racing. He couldn't bear the thought of Bailey waiting any longer for a reunion that would never happen. He had to find a way to help him move on. The next morning, he loaded Bailey into his old truck. Bailey, surprisingly compliant, seemed to sense a shift in the air. Kevin drove them to a small cemetery on the outskirts of town, the place Mrs. Ross had mentioned as the final resting spot of Bailey's owners. They arrived at a quiet corner where 2 simple headstones stood, their names etched into the stone, surrounded by wilting flowers. Kevin unclipped the leash, watching as Bailey cautiously approached the graves. The dog sniffed the cool, damp grass, his tail motionless. He slowly circled the headstones, pressing his nose against the cold granite before finally lying down between them. A low, mournful whimper escaped his throat, and Kevin stood nearby, his own heart aching. He knew it was painful, but it had to be done. Bailey lingered, letting the sorrow finally wash over him, allowing himself to understand. That night, for the first time in years, Bailey slept soundly, curled up on a soft dog bed in Kevin's living room. What are your thoughts on this story? I'd love to hear your opinions, so please share them in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Stay tuned for our upcoming content. See you in the next video.